Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to the Gas and Gavel video channel. Today, we're going to take a look at this 2023 Porsche 718 Boxster Base model. This Porsche Boxster Base model is finished in a guards red with a black leather interior. This base Porsche Boxster is equipped with a 2.0 liter inline 4 turbocharged 4-cylinder motor, putting out 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. This 2.0 liter turbocharged motor inline 4 is mounted behind the rear seats in the middle of the car, and all that power is routed to the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed Porsche PDK dual clutch auto manual transmission. This 2.0 liter turbocharged motor is mounted behind the rear seats in the middle of the vehicle and powers the rear wheels. The mounting of the motor mid-engine allows this car to achieve an almost 50-50 weight distribution. This is currently the 4th generation of the Porsche Boxster with the model code 982. The 4th generation Porsche Boxster was introduced in 2016 and is currently still in production in 2025. The example that we see in front of us is a 2023 Porsche Boxster Base model. The 918 Boxster has 4 primary trim levels. The trim levels start with the base that we see in front of us, equipped with that 2.0 liter inline 4 turbocharged motor, followed by the style package, and then the T package, and then the Boxster S package, and then at the top of the Boxster S trim levels is the Boxster GTS, equipped with a 4.0 liter inline 6 naturally aspirated motor. And of course, there is the top and the top of the top of the top Porsche Boxsters, and that is the Porsche Boxster 718 GT4 RS. But today's video, we're going to focus simply on the entry-level Porsche base Boxster, again equipped with that inline 4 turbocharged motor. And this particular example is equipped with Porsche's dual clutch 7-speed auto manual transmission. This base Porsche is the most affordable 2-door Porsche in the lineup currently. This base Porsche Boxster comes out as with a MSRP of $63,000 without options. Let's begin the exterior tour of this 2023 Porsche Boxster base model, starting with the front end. The base Porsche Boxster is equipped with bi-xenon headlights with LED turn signals. The headlights are housed in a black housing with silver trim, and I think that these bi-xenon Porsche headlights with the black housing contrast really well with, again, that guards red exterior. Right in front of both headlights, there are these chromed headlight washers on both the passenger and the driver's side. And on the side of the bumper, you do have these amber side markers, which I think contrast really, really well again with that guards red exterior. Right front and center, you have this golden Porsche shield. Love the contrast of that golden red and golden red inside the emblem and on the paint. Quintessential Porsche. Right beneath the headlights, you do have, again, these LED turn signals that are integrated right beneath those headlights into the bumper. I think it looks really great, really clean install of the turn signals. Continuing on with the exterior tour, this Porsche Boxster is equipped with a black fabric soft top with a glass rear roof. This soft top is powered and comes up and down with a drop of the button. I think this black vinyl roof is a great contrast with the red, or the guards red exterior. Now let's take a look at what this car looks like with the top down. Let's take a look at what the car looks like with the top down. So with that black soft top put down, it essentially folds behind the rear seats. I really love how Porsche integrated these integrated roll bars. I think that they look aggressive, but they also serve a very, very important function in this car. In case of rollover, this will definitely protect the passenger and driver. But again, safety and style all in one. I love how the center has a center grille cutout to let air through, but still provide strong protection in case of a rollover. Although the engine of the Porsche Boxster is behind the driver and passenger seat, the front bumper with these blacked out kidney grills in the front are actually functional, because right behind there is some sort of grill or radiator, and you can definitely stick your finger through these little slots. So again, these are functional to cool something that helps that 2.0 liter inline 4 turbocharged motor function. And there is some sort of radiator, again, mounted behind that front bumper. Right in the middle with this kind of clean opening is a black, looks like flat black finish. And this center part is actually not functional. It's actually pretty much a solid piece of plastic. But again, I think the design looks great. The engine's in the back, there's not much you can do. I don't think that the front frunk with no motor in there needs any cooling. But again, I really like the design of the front bumper of the base Porsche Boxster. I think it just looks really, really clean. It looks really finished. It's aggressive, yet sleek. And to protect that beautiful front bumper, you do have integrated parking sensors right in front. Very, very clean. executed front bumper of the base model on this Porsche base model 2023 model. The Porsche Boxster is equipped with not one but two trunks. The front trunk is covered by this front hood. Very sleek, very clean. No crazy vents, no crazy anything. It's just a nice clean guards red hood. Very sleek, low running hood. Great design. Very quintessential Porsche design. No matter what generation of Porsche Boxster. The fenders are very clean, except the biggest difference is that on the passenger side, you do have your gas cap that's integrated right into the fender. The side mirrors are powered and heated. Very nice, and have a really cool design. I like how the body of it is painted body color, but the stem of it is this flat black. I think it provides really good contrast. It has kind of like this little inlet in there. Definitely very a lot of design and also function. So again, these are power folding and heated and nicely designed. The base Porsche Boxster comes with these very clean, classic Porsche 5-spoke alloy wheels. The fronts measure a 235/40 ZR19s, and they are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. At the center of these 5-spoke wheels, you do have these 13-inch cross-drilled and ventilated rotors. The caliper does have the Porsche insignia etched into it, and this Porsche caliper is finished in a subtle flat gray. Very nice, very aggressive, especially with those cross-drilled slots running all throughout the rotor. And great silver alloy finish, contrasting very well with that guard red exterior. Let's check out the rear wheel tire package. Here are your 5-spoke 19-inch alloy wheels in the rear. The rears measure a 265/40 ZR19s and are also wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. I want to note that the rear offset of the Porsche Boxster wheels, I like how if you look very closely, maybe not from the front, but if you look at from the side, there's some sort of concave offset in the center. I think that really is a cool, subtle, aggressive design feature. And that usually happens in lower offset settings where the center of the wheel curves in. Definitely very cool. Again, that center Porsche logo in the center, and the rear cross-drilled rotors measure a smaller but still effective 11-inch diameter, with again those cross-drilled rotor slots and that Porsche caliper in a subtle flat gray with the Porsche insignia etched in. Very great, clean, and classic wheel and tire package on the 2023 Porsche Boxster 718 base model. The Porsche Boxster door has this indentation running right along the body line that leads right up to this very cool flat black center intake vent, sucking in all that cool air It's that rear mounted 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4 motor. I really like how Porsche made the inlet black. I think it contrasts really well with the guards red exterior, and allows people to really see again that side intake, to remind folks that this is a car that has its engine mounted in the right exotic position, which is in the rear middle of the vehicle, and powers the rear wheels. So again, definitely great side profile design on the Porsche Boxster. The base Porsche Boxster comes with body colored door handles, now let's swing over to the rear end of the 2023 Porsche Boxster 718 base model. And we'll start with the tail lights. The rear tail lights of the 2023 Porsche Boxster consist of a red LED light strip in the center with corresponding LED turn signals, and everything's integrated into this black with silver finish housing corresponding with the front headlights. As a reminder, the front headlights are housed in a black housing with silver trim. And the biggest difference in the most current generation of the Porsche Boxster is that there is a center line that runs between both headlights and taillights that create essentially kind of like a center bar. And this center bar corresponds with all the new design languages of other 2024s and up Porsche Boxsters, from the 911 to the Cayman to the Cayenne to the Macan. This light bar in the middle does not light up, but it does house the Porsche wording connecting both passenger and driver tail lights. Here is your driver's side LED tail lights. Again, great color combination with that red and then that silver trim and that black housing and that guards red exterior. The rear end features a very cool subtle spoiler that houses a nice little surprise. So this subtle rear duckbill spoiler is actually a spoiler. A spoiler that is a powered active aero spoiler, meaning that the spoiler raises up and down depending on speed. And there's also a corresponding button in the back that you can press to raise and lower the spoiler in a park position in case you want to look fast standing still. And we're going to go ahead and play a video of the spoiler going up and down. Again, definitely very cleanly integrated rear spoiler that is also functional, but also very modern with that active electronic aero. And here, with this cell indentation, is actually your second rear trunk. And the rear trunk lid also houses a third integrated red brake light right in between there. And it also houses your very subtle notched antenna. Very, very clean and very, very functional. One of the best ways to tell between the trim models, especially in the base 718 Boxster, is taking a look at the exhaust section. So if you take it very closely at the lower rear bumper, you have kind of this flat black rear diffuser that houses kind of very cute oval single tip exhaust. And this oval single tip exhaust is actually a variable exhaust, and from the driver's seat you can actually change the closing and opening of the valves, making the exhaust louder and quieter depending on your needs. Again, I think it looks very, very clean with the black diffuser housing just that single oval exhaust. In the higher trim models, such as the 6-cylinder versions, those Porsche Boxsters would have a dual exhaust tip, whereas the base Boxster again has that single oval exhaust. Underneath the tail lights houses is very clean and very subtle, especially with the guards red rear bumper, your rear side lights, safety, and very clean integration. And when you spec this Boxster with the guards red, it especially looks very, very clean because the red marker kind of just integrates right into the rear bumper. Now let's take a look at the trunk and the frunk of this Porsche Boxster. So both the trunk has about 4.4 cubic feet of space, and again, let's see what that gives you. So here is your rear trunk with about 4 cubic feet of space, enough for maybe one carry-on luggage and maybe a side bag. It's lined in a really, really nice black felt. Very, very cool. And within this rear trunk, there is also access to add your engine oil and some sort of other fluid. Here is your 4 cubic feet of space in the rear trunk of your Porsche 718 Boxster. Now let's take a look at the front. The front trunk or frunk offers a little bit more storage, right around a little less than 4 cubic feet of space. And to open your front trunk, you can press the button on your alarm, and you gotta reach down inside here and there's a little latch, and on that little latch you go ahead and just kind of give it a good pull to the left and it'll release again your front trunk or frunk. A little smaller, but definitely much deeper than the rear trunk. You can definitely fit probably one or 2 or 3 bags or groceries or 2.5 overnight bags. This frunk also contains a trunk light, I assume this is probably the emergency latch in case you plan to kidnap someone or something in this small trunk. This frunk is outlined by this plastic shrouding that has this very cool subtle Porsche logo etched into the front, reminding folks while you're looking through your luggage that you do indeed have a Porsche. And this is your front and rear storage units in your 718 Porsche Boxster. So let's take a look at the engine compartment of your 718 Porsche Boxster. Or at least we're going to try to take a look at it. So as a reminder, this base Porsche Boxster is powered by a 2.0 liter inline 4 turbocharged motor and is mounted right behind these rear seats, right above the rear wheels, and right in front of the frunk. So the closest that you can get to actually seeing the engine compartment is essentially opening the trunk and using your Superman X-ray vision and looking through this hard trunk area. And beneath all this and your soft top cover lies that 2.0 liter inline 4 turbocharged motor pushing out 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is routed via a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed Porsche PDK auto manual transmission. The power is sent to the rear wheels. So again, you can't see the motor at all, but you can definitely access it. In the rear trunk, you can access if you ever need to top up your oil, if you ever need to check some other type of fluid. But to actually see that motor, you're gonna probably have to put this car in a lift. But again, here is your motor of your 2023 base Porsche Boxster 718 inline 4 turbo. Let's begin the interior tour of this 2023 Porsche Boxster base model, and we'll start with the driver's side door panel. And this is the driver's side door panel in your base 2023 Porsche Boxster. It is finished in a black leather. And here is your driver's side door panel of your 2023 Porsche Boxster. The Porsche Boxster's door panel is simply designed with a silver finished door handle right next to the door handle, you do have 2 memory seat settings to save your seat settings. Underneath that, you have soft touch windows to open and close the front windows. On top of that, you have your side mirror controls. And underneath here, you do have a door handle or a grab handle. And underneath it, there is a very small storage compartment. And located next to the storage department is the front speaker. It is nicely trimmed in this black leather. And it has an integrated side impact airbag. Before you enter the cockpit of your Porsche Boxster, there is a silver Porsche Boxster. Finisher right here on the door sill. Very, very cool. Above this door sill, there is 2 buttons here, and these allow you to open the front and the rear. And I do like how they not only show you a picture of the car and which trunk it opens, but also they position the button, one in front here and one in rear here. So you never get confused about which one opens the front or the rear trunk. Here are your driver's seat, and here is your driver and passenger seat of your base Porsche Boxster. The seats are wrapped in a black, and here are your front and driver and here is your driver and passenger side seats in your base 2023 Porsche Boxster. The front driver and passenger seats are wrapped in a black Napa leather, and they are powered every which way with a powered lumbar support, side impact airbags, cool silver trim. This button here, click it to fold these seats forward to access the back of the seats. And very, very subtly, although these seats are trimmed in black leather, the base of it is this really cool kind of like gunmetal plastic finish. Very, very nice. Nice little subtle contrast detail. There is an integrated side impact airbag. And again, you can press this button here to lift up the back access. And if you can see, the back seats are also leather trimmed. Behind the seats are mounted dead center right behind your head is the speaker for what I can assume the audio system. Again, you do have those rollover protective integrated roll bars. Stylish and functional and safety. Very, very nice. Great design for your base seats in your 2023 Porsche Boxster drop top. Now let's jump into the cockpit of your 2023 Porsche Boxster and see what it's like in the driver's seat. And here we are in the cockpit of the 2023 Porsche Boxster base model. So the 2023 Porsche Boxster base model comes with this really cool leather wrapped tri-spoke sporty steering wheel. The center steering wheel features the golden Porsche emblem, and this emblem not only looks cool but is also functional because it houses your horn. Well, you probably have to turn off your car to hear it, but we'll do that afterwards. The 2023 Porsche Boxster Base model features this really sporty tri-spoke leather wrapped steering wheel with the golden Porsche emblem right in the center. This emblem also functions as your horn, and the tri-spoke steering wheel has this really cool contrasting metal silver trim going all the way around the 3 spokes. This steering wheel not only looks cool, but is also functional. You have your audio controls here, and hidden behind these steering wheels is very cool aluminum paddle shifters. Because again, this car is equipped with Porsche's 7-speed dual clutch auto manual PDK transmission, seen here. And you can either have the car shift for you, or you can do your own shifts using the shift knob, or again, the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Located right behind the steering wheels are your various stalks to adjust your windshield here, your cruise control here. The steering wheel telescopes forward and down manually using a switch located underneath the steering wheel. This car is a push to start, but Porsche has integrated a very cool quintessential Porsche design. Essentially, this is your quote-unquote key. So instead of pushing to start your Porsche, you want to go ahead and have your key somewhere near you as such, and put your foot on brake, and you simply turn this little knob here to start up your Porsche. Very, very cool and nostalgic design. It's kind of like a modern electronic feature, but with a old school touch. And if you want to turn off your car, you go ahead and turn it off. So that is your ignition, and to the left of your ignition is your headlight settings. Above your headlight settings, you do have your AC outlet. I love how the black is trimmed in this silver polished trim. The outlets feel definitely very, very sturdy, very, very rich. Soft rubber touch. These center vents also have that silver trim with that soft touch. Very cool design. And your passenger also has their own outlet on the other side. You have a center mounted airbag for your passenger. Below your AC outlets, you have a 7-inch multimedia touchscreen. What I like about this touchscreen is not only do you have the option of using the touchscreen buttons, but underneath this entire multimedia screen, you do have analog buttons that allow you to access everything that you can access in a touchscreen, but analog. Very, very cool, and something, or a car that's manufactured in 2023. One little quirky detail of the 2023 Porsche multimedia system is that there is actually a slot here with a button to play CDs if you want to. Very, very cool. So if you're into CDs from the back in the days, you can definitely play that. You have knobs to again control your volume and your tuning. Underneath the multimedia system here, you do have your AC controls for the driver and passenger. The front seats for the passenger and driver are both heated and cooled, and can be turned on using these buttons here. Scrolling on out, beneath this multimedia and AC system, you have your, again, 7-speed Porsche dual clutch auto manual PDK transmission. I love how they designed the shift knob in this. The shift knob is surrounded by a silver trim with another layer of silver trim, and the steering wheel is leather wrapped and finished in this very cool heavy chrome finish. So when you want to shift, all you have to do is just press down on this button here and shift it up, down, depending on which gear you want to go into. And again, you can shift this manually yourself using the shift knob, going up and down here, or again, using your steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Underneath your PDK shift knob, you have your emergency lights and your lock button. And the section here is actually houses pretty much all my favorite buttons of not just the Porsche Boxster, but any car in general. And in an age where everything is digital this, digital that, screen this, digital screen that, it's a very, very refreshing sight to see when you see your 2023 Porsche Boxster instrument cluster. The center and the left gauges are classic analog with your rev limiter in the center and your miles per hour on the left. You have a small little digital outlet there to display your mileage, and the only modern technology is this right screen with a small digital instrument cluster that allows you to change different settings in there, such as your tire pressure, your engine oil, your radio settings, and so on and so forth. But it's very nice to see that this cluster is majority analog, and despite the digital cluster inside, it is designed like a classic 1960s Porsche with that 3 cluster bezel. Very, very cool. Very, very nicely designed. The center dash does have this very cool silver finish trim breaking up all that black. Underneath that, you do have, again, a lockable glove compartment to store all sorts of knickknacks. Your passenger seat here is exactly like your driver's seat. Heated, cooled, ventilated, powered every which way. Folds forward, folds backward, and is trimmed in that finished, in that black Napa finish leather. Up top, you have a basic rearview mirror. You have 2 window visors with mirrors and light. And on top of your rearview mirror, you have your 2 lights for your interior dome lights, and what looks like some sort of a garage or remote settings. Very nice, very convenient. And here is your interior of your 2023 Porsche Boxster Base model. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the test drive of this 2023 Porsche Boxster Base model. So as a reminder, the base model comes with a inline 4 turbocharged motor, putting out 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. Let's go ahead and see how this Porsche performs here at Angeles Crest Highway here in California. So the first thing that I do in any car, just like in any other video I've ever reviewed, is where is the driving mode button and how can I put this car in track mode? So again, in this car, to put this car in quote-unquote track mode, you're gonna go ahead and press the sport button here. Let's turn on the active exhaust there. You definitely hear the exhaust rumbling up there. Let's just turn up the wing for fun. And yep, everything's set. And here we go, folks. I think that I will leave the top down. I'm pretty sure we can hear whatever we need to hear. So here we go. Let's go on the test drive. So again, this car has the dual clutch PDK auto manual transmission with the paddle shifters. It's not for everyone. A lot of I guess Porsche purists would definitely want the 6-speed manual, but for me, I'm a car enthusiast, but I'm a lazy car enthusiast, and I love auto manuals. I can tell you right now that the auto manual in this car is actually pretty fun. But we'll get more into that. Let's enjoy a little bit of scenery first. So if you guys can see, folks, one of the biggest most interesting things about this car is that since it is a turbocharged inline 4, it makes this very, very loud vacuum noise. So real quick, the exhaust on this car is a variable exhaust, and it sounds amazing. When you open up the valves, it pops, it gurgles, it has this growl of this V8, even though this car is an inline 4 turbocharged motor. But unfortunately, the turbocharger on this car is actually very extremely loud. So the harder you accelerate, the louder the sound of the turbo gives off. And a sound, I equate it to essentially turning on like a vacuum cleaner or like a Dyson vacuum cleaner. And it kind of overshadows that exhaust sound. So again, one of my complaints is exactly that. But you know, let me know what you think. Can you guys hear that, or is it just me and my like sensitive hearing? So here we go. So one of the first things I noticed about this car is that, man, this thing handles like a dream. This car is the base Boxster. There's nothing special about the suspension. There's no special option. There's no air suspension. There's no fancy carbon this, carbon that, strut bar that. Again, this is just the base suspension that comes in the base bare bones Porsche Boxster. But man, this thing handles like a dream. So again, right now I'm taking these turns, and I have full confidence. It just feels like the car is just like gripping to the road. So again, this car is a mid-mounted rear-wheel drive car, but it grips and drives like it has four-wheel drive. Like, it just does not let go. No matter how hard I step on the accelerator, no matter how hard I push on, it just does not break grip. So I really, really love that fact that in this Porsche, even right now, let me take this turn, like in this base Porsche, it's like the suspension is stiff, but it's forgiving. On top of that, although it is a rear-wheel drive car, I can tell you right now that stepping on the accelerator, the stability and the confidence of this car feels like you have all four wheels spinning like a four-wheel drive car. So again, I kind of I contribute that fact to the inline 4 turbocharged motor. So it's not that powerful, but it has the right amount of power where it keeps this car balanced. So again, this car makes 300 horsepower, 280 foot-pounds of torque, but combine that again with that lighter weight of that 4-cylinder motor mid-mounted to the rear wheels, this car again has just enough torque, just enough horsepower to again keep the car stable through all these sharp curves, but also provide that sports car acceleration. Oh yeah. So for a turbocharged motor, there is a noticeable turbo lag right when you step on the accelerator, which is kind of frustrating when you're driving around town. Maybe Porsche should have went with maybe a smaller turbo, or in the future, maybe they could attach some sort of electric turbo or electric some sort of electric small electric motor to compensate for that, similar to the new AMG C63E or whatnot with the electric turbocharger. So to sum it up, the inline 4 turbocharged motor is fun to drive, but it's not fast. Again, 300 horsepower. There are a lot of Toyota Camrys nowadays that make 300 horsepower. There are even some. So again, if you're expecting like exotic car acceleration, making your heart skip a beat, pee your pants acceleration, you're not gonna find it in this car. It's fast, but again, for enthusiast car standards, it's actually pretty slow. Even right now here in the canyons, even keeping it at the rev limiter above 4,000 RPM, it still feels slow. It feels like it's struggling. So again, I feel like this car is not meant for the drag strip. It's not meant to impress your friends with a 0-60 time. It's meant to bring smiles to your face on these twisty, curvy roads or the twisty, curvy racetracks. And it does it in a balanced fashion. This car is equipped with, I believe, 13-inch cross-drilled steel rotors, and I would probably rate the brakes a maybe 6 out of 10. It is noticeably spongy. It doesn't have that grip that inspires confidence, and after driving in the canyons for about 30 minutes, the brakes definitely feel even more spongier than before. So again, maybe this car could use like a brake upgrade. The seats in this car is I would rate it out of maybe like a 6 out of 10. The seats are a little stiff. The interior of the Boxster, I mean, I'm about 5'7", 5'8", about average weight, and the interior feels even cramped to me. The seats aren't that comfortable, even though they are like whatever X amount of electronic adjustability. There's something hard and stiff about it that just tactilely doesn't feel comfortable, and the interior just feels a little cramped and claustrophobic if you don't have the top down. So thank God that this is the Boxster and not the Cayman, because with the top up, which I'm gonna do right now to show you kind of what it feels like to drive with the top up, the interior becomes just really tight. So if you're one of the bigger people out there, or bigger than 5'7", 5'8", or taller than that, or wider than that, you might want to spring for maybe the Porsche's big brother, the 911, because that definitely probably has more interior room. All right, let's see what it's like to drive with the top up in this car. So again, the top is up. with that, again, soft top with the glass, I guess the heated glass partition. And let's see what it feels like when we have the top up. So with the top up, the rear visibility becomes kind of essentially really bad. The rear glass window is actually pretty small. So if I had this car as a daily, more than likely I'd probably just drive it with the top down all the time, because again, with the top up, all that black fabric kind of just blocks up everything. Interior noise is manageable with the top up. It's not too bad. You could definitely, you know, still hear the road noise, but again, with the top up, the interior does become a little more warm, and it does protect you from elements such as this cloudy day right now. But again, like I said, nothing really beats putting the top down on this Porsche Boxster. So this car is essentially, I would probably say, a car that I would get if I had, let's say, a daughter or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever it may be, that is looking for a fun car, but also is a car that is well balanced and safe. I feel like I would be very comfortable if, let's say, my 16-year-old daughter, you know, was given this vehicle on her 16th birthday. I feel that, again, I would feel that, number one, that she's safe, and number two, that the power that this car puts out is enough for an average person to handle. The power is not so crazy where if you step on the gas, the rear is going to break loose. In fact, I've actually been trying to break loose this rear end even with the traction control off, and again, it's like gripping on there, like all four wheels are turning. So again, I like that aspect of this vehicle. And again, for the base MSRP of $65,000 with that option, it is the most affordable Porsche out of all the two-door Porsches in this current generation here in 2023 to 2025. Oh yeah, see, there you go. See, turning is just full confidence. So again, I really enjoyed this Porsche Boxster. The only thing I can complain about it is the acceleration, but I can tell you right now, this thing is a handling monster. It no body lean. The steering, it turns where it needs to go. The steering ratio, this turning ratio is great. Steering wheel is comfortable. And again, it's just a fun car to drive. It's very well balanced. And again, if you had to, you know, we're deciding between this or the Cayman, I highly recommend to go with the convertible, especially if you live in a sunny state like myself, because even for myself here in California on a cloudy day, it's still really nice to, again, put the top down and feel the breeze through your hair and hear that rumble of that exhaust. I hope you guys enjoyed this test drive here at Andros Crest Highway of this 2023 base Porsche Boxster, equipped with the 7-speed dual clutch automated manual transmission. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons of this 2023 base Porsche Boxster 718, equipped with the inline turbocharged motor. The first pro of the 2023 base Porsche Boxster is one word: handling. This car handles like a dream. I want to remind everybody that this car is the base model. It doesn't have any fancy suspension. It doesn't have any fancy like air suspension or fancy race coilovers. It's the base suspension. I can tell you right now that this thing handles, again, like a dream. Taking turns, whether it's a sharp turn or a mediocre turn, there's almost zero body lean. The tires grip on to the cement very, very, very confidently. Although this car is rear-wheel drive, taking the turns, it grips like it has all-wheel drive. And again, this car is equipped with just the base suspension. It handles really well. It turns really, really well. There's zero body lean, but the ride is firm, yet not so firm where you can't drive it around in the city streets, but it's firm enough where, again, if you're here, like for example, where I am today at Andros Crest Highway, and you want to take the twisties on the weekends, it definitely gets the job done. So again, I really feel that the handling is also really, really, really nimble and maneuverable, due in fact to the fact that this car actually only has, again, 4 cylinders. I really feel that by dropping the 2 extra cylinders and going with the inline 4 with the turbocharged motor mounted in the middle of the car, makes this car much, much lighter to toss around than the more powerful inline 6s in the higher models, such as the GTS or the 918 Boxster S. So although Porsche purists will grumble about this inline 4, I really feel that the lightweight of the motor in conjunction with this well-tuned suspension makes this car just really, really tossable, but tossable in a way where you feel confident just taking those turns at really high speeds. And although this is, again, rear-wheel drive, it grips like it has all-wheel drive. So again, the biggest pro of this vehicle, man, 10 out of 10 handling. And the next pro when it comes to this 2023 Porsche Boxster base model is most definitely sound. So I really, really love the variable exhaust. So with this car, the rear single quad tip exhaust pictured here is, again, actually a variable exhaust that you can turn the valves open and close depending on the button and depending on your driving mode. What I really like about it is that when you turn on the exhaust fully, you do get these really deep kind of V8 grumbles and burbles and burps and pops. It sounds really, really aggressive, and it sounds, again, nothing like people would imagine an inline turbocharged motor to sound like. So again, the other pro for this inline 4 turbocharged Boxster motor is, again, sound. And we'll play a clip here. It also looks great too. It's like a quad, like titanium or goldish finish. And the first con of the 2023 Porsche 718 Boxster base model is power. So although the turbocharged inline 4 is revolutionary for the Porsche Boxster, again, this 4-cylinder turbocharged motor was first introduced in this generation, the 4th generation 918, with 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. The car is fast, but it's not fast compared to most cars nowadays in 2025. So again, 300 horsepower. In reality right now, there are some Toyota Corollas, Toyota Camrys, and other economy cars that are actually approaching that 300 horsepower mark. Driving this vehicle, it's fast, but it doesn't have that scare you, make your heart skip a beat type fast. It's fast in a way where it's balanced and it's safe. But again, I imagine after driving it for a while, I would probably say this car is a little slow. So Porsche, if you're listening to this in the future, maybe you guys can turn up the boost on this 4-cylinder and add maybe an additional 50 horsepower to it. But again, it's enjoyable to drive, but it may be feeling underpowered for some of you. So again, one of the cons of the base 2023 Porsche Boxster 718 is definitely power. It needs more of it. And the next con of the base Boxster is essentially in line with the one of the pros of the Porsche Boxster base model, which is sound. So the sound on the exhaust sounds great, but for some reason the exhaust has to compete with this very, very, very loud whistling or scrolling of the turbocharger that's mounted to the inline 4. So when you're driving this car, you hear the pops and gurgles and the aggressive like exhaust note, but it's overwhelmed by essentially this very loud like suction sound. Every time you accelerate, the harder you accelerate, the louder that suction sounds like. And essentially I equate it to sounding kind of like a Dyson vacuum every time you step on the gas pedal. So you step on the gas pedal, the exhaust pops and gurgles, but this is very loud vacuum cleaner sound that gets louder and louder the harder you accelerate. That really kills the good sounds from the exhaust. So again, similar to one of the pros, and it is also con is sounds. The turbocharger, pretty loud. Maybe Porsche in the future, you guys can turn down the volume on that turbocharger, because again, it is not appealing to the ears unless you like the sound of Dyson vacuum cleaners turned on at full blast. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2023 Porsche Boxster base model. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel video channel on YouTube. We truly do appreciate it, and we will catch you next week with more exciting enthusiast car reviews.